Hi there, I'm Sarah Glova, and I love speaking. I love connecting to different audience groups, helping to understand what is it that they need from this event, this session, this talk, and then adapting my content, finding stories that are relevant to them. I like to leverage my background. So I used to teach technical writing to engineers at North Carolina State University. And also, about 10 years ago, I started my own company, and it's now the award winning digital media firm, Reify Media. I speak to groups about a variety of topics. I love talking about those tech trends that are relevant to those different audience groups, but we also talk about things like women in entrepreneurship and women in business. We talk about entrepreneurial mindset, resiliency. What I love about public speaking is no event is the same. I have to adapt my content because if my goal is to connect with the audience, figure out what they need to take away from the event, figure out how to make them feel like a part of the topic, then no two events are ever the same. I'm really passionate about speaking, and I'd love to talk with you about what event you have coming up, what stage you have available, and what topic you would like to see brought to that stage. A bit about just my personal background. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm on the East Coast in the US, but I do travel all around the world and I've spoken at some great events like Connected World Summit in London and Select USA Tech in Washington, D.C., IoT Evolution in Florida. And I've also done training sessions for universities from New Mexico all the way to the Texas A&M campus that's in Doha, Qatar. So I'd love to tell you a little bit more about these experiences, but to be honest, I'm more interested in you and what you need brought to the stage. So let's connect. You can find me on the Innovation Women's Speakers Bureau, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you connect with me on LinkedIn, you'll see me share updates and articles. You can also read a little bit more about my background and also my educational background. I have a master's in technical communication and a PhD in instructional technology. And I try to bring all that together for your audience. Really looking forward to connecting with you. So, I'm Sarah Glova. I'm the CEO of Reify Media. This is a company that I started on my own. I was just freelancing in 2009 and then turned it into a company in 2012. Since then, it's grown to be an award winning firm. We've worked on projects literally all over the globe. And I have a team of contractors who help me complete these projects for our clients. We focus on e learning and online training. So, if you know anyone who has to do that continuing education type work to keep up like a license or a certification, that's what we do. We create that CE training in an online format. We also work on some public health initiatives and other projects that are focused on educating a group. I love to bring those experiences with me when I speak. So, being a CEO, starting and running a company, there have been some incredible ups and downs that I'm happy to talk about on stage. I'm also a researcher and writer, so I talk and look at tech trends, and I've been a technology consultant for a number of years now. I work with different groups to help them figure out what are the tech trends that are affecting them and their work, or how can they better include the community in some of their smart city or economic development discussions. Now, something I love to do on the side is to support women focused organizations that look at women in business or women in entrepreneurship. So I'm on the first board of directors for the North Carolina Women Business Owner Hall of Fame, which is looking to amplify the stories of some amazing women entrepreneurs who started in our state. I also support organizations like the National Association of Women Business Owners, or NABO. And I'm a volunteer with Executive Service Corps, which is an organization that helps consultants to connect with nonprofits to provide incredibly discounted consulting services to those organizations. I love the work that I get to do, but certainly one of the things that I'm most passionate about is public speaking. And I've been doing that for also over 10 years now. I started out speaking to faculty groups about how they could implement active learning strategies into their work, but then I expanded. I started working with student groups, talking about business strategies, communication tools, entrepreneurial mindset. And then I started going to organizations and talking about entrepreneurship and tech trends. It's grown now to where I've gotten to be on so many amazing stages, and I'd love to continue doing this work and connect to new organizations to figure out how I can support their audiences. One of the most exciting talks that I have right now is this talk called Stop Giving Women Advice. Now, it's a talk about the effects of unsolicited advice and how that unsolicited advice can disrupt women's confidence, can make them feel judged, and have additional stress in the workplace. It also looks at the effects of solicited advice and what leaders need to know about offering advice to different groups. Now, I think this is one of my most popular talks because it's really not something we communicate enough. Sometimes we talk about advice like it's a gift, like, oh, I'm going to give you some advice. And clearly in the workplace, we do sometimes need advice. We want to be able to talk to leadership, to talk to management, to talk to our colleagues about things that we could be doing better. But, and this is a bit, but I think we get way too much advice. And often this advice is unsolicited. Something I've found in the research is that men are more likely to give women unsolicited advice than women are to give men unsolicited advice. But overall, women receive more unsolicited advice. So we're less likely to give it to men, but we're more likely to receive it. So, what does that do? What does that do to our confidence? What does it mean when advice makes us feel, as I've seen in the research, judged or shamed or less confident? What does that mean when we're in the workplace and we rely on, our management teams, our leadership to let us know how we're doing, but the way that that feedback is delivered, especially if it's unsolicited advice, can actually be harmful. It's an incredible talk, and there is a happy ending. We talk a lot about strategies that some of the most successful people are using to improve how they give advice so that it doesn't have those harmful effects, but also how they use what I call advice literacy to better understand the importance of the source of the advice, taking some of the focus off of yourself and better looking at the source to help remove some of those stressors that cause you to lower your confidence when you hear unsolicited advice. It's a talk that I have loved bringing to different stages. And it's not just for women. What's great is because this talk is so important for leadership, it's truly one that I could bring to any group. And I would love to bring it to your stage.